Welcome back to my channel, to Coroni segment. Today I interviewed a young lady who's currently studying to be a medical doctor at KZN. The reason that I interview her is that I wanted us to encourage someone who's out there who at the moment is feeling like they cannot pursue their dreams, that because life happened, circumstances about life and this happened, and they have to bury their dreams or park them for some other time. To say, you know what, if you feel that you have dreams, you have certain path that you have to follow, you have to fight and do everything that you have to achieve that, because most of the time the things that we do is not what fulfill us. Most of the things that give us an income is not the things that fulfill us. Most of the time the things that we go and study, it's not the things that fulfill us. So whatever that, which position we're at this moment, you might have dropped out of school because of different reasons. You might have studied something that you don't love. You might have, a lot of things, and life happens as life, we all know, happens. I want to tell you that it's never too late. You owe it to yourself to pursue your dreams and to live the kind of life that you wish. Don't be in a hurry to pack your dreams. Don't be in a hurry to give up on yourself. Don't be in a hurry to say, this is no longer my dream, I cannot do it. There are some dreams that we are always revising our dreams, it's true. But there's still certain dreams which are your life mission, and they are calling. So let us relook at the kind of life that we're living and the choices that we make and the attitude that we have towards life. And it's only us. It's only if you tell yourself you can do it, if you can think of it, you can do it. So I'll be interviewing this young lady on her journey. I don't want to say much because I'm going to spoil the video. Thank you for watching. Kindly subscribe, like, and share so this channel can grow. The material, the Masiari.
Yeah.
Who did that?
Nandi
Nanandi one, Mrs. Shivase. What does one definitely say, Mrs. Welcome back to my channel, to Coroni segment. And thank you for accepting this this invite. I know we had recorded before, but is the noise from my side or your side?
I think it's from my side. I'm on the side of the road.
Oh, okay. And thank you also because I'm interviewing you for the second time, because yesterday we thought we recorded you, but we didn't. It was not recording. Today, I want us to tackle the issue that it's never too late to pursue your dreams. Let me just give an introduction about you, the little that I know, why I thought you'll be the perfect person for this segment. I understand that currently you are at medical school, and before medical school, you studied another qualification, but your passion was medical school. You did a first qualification, you started working, but you did that, but medical school was your calling, and you ended up dropping, having a job with a good salary, I'm sure, and starting from fresh. So can you just tell me the early days of your journey, just before medical school, and how you go to medical school?
So I always wanted to go to medical school ever since I was in high school and everything. But things didn't go as planned. With the post office always on strike and everything. So things didn't go as planned. And my applications sort of didn't make it on time. So I ended up having to choose to do something else before going to medical school. So basically, at first, I actually went to Northwest University and I registered for chemical engineering.
Yes.
And I did it for like 3 months. And then I realized that I really, really don't want to do this. I want something in health. Specifically, I want medicine. But I couldn't go to medical school that year after matric because it was too late already to apply and all that. So I decided to deregister and I took a gap year, the rest of the year as a gap.
Did
And
you
then
tell, sorry to cut you in, did you tell your parents when you decided to deregister, or you just said, I will tell them after?
I did tell them, I discussed it. Well, actually, they could all see that I was very unhappy with chemical engineering. And the last thing that they wanted was for me to go to university, waste their money, and then end up, failing or something because I wasn't focusing on something and I really didn't like it. So I told them that this is really not working out. I really want medicine. So I decided to deregister and apply for medicine for the following year.
Okay.
But then I applied only at Medunta because I was 100% sure they were going to take me with my marks and everything. But yeah, Medunta being
Overconfidence.
Medunta, that didn't happen. Yeah,
Overconfidence.
yeah, the issue of overconfidence. I was too confident, but it also helped me. I learned my lesson that when you apply to all schools available. Do not limit your options. Apply everywhere. Yeah, so
Okay.
it taught me a lesson.
Can we
So
talk about the because you said you went to school and for 3 months and you registered, and then I'm taking that you took a gap year for the rest of the year which was left. Do you think
yes,
that time when you were not going to school, you were at home, do you think that you learned anything from it? And will you recommend that parents that if your child have not been admitted to what they really want, they must not force them to go and do a course that they're not really interested in? Because usually with the gap year, we see it with other races, not really us blacks, because we're always chasing, that you need to go to school, you need to be someone. But so from your experience, will you recommend to parents that if a child has not been admitted or a child is not sure yet what they want, it's okay for a child to take a gap year?
yes, I would definitely recommend a gap year. No one should force you to go to school to do what you don't want to do. If you're not sure, you're allowed to take some time out. Actually, a gap year is actually very much recommended for people who are not sure, because you don't want to go make a fail record at school, because then no one is going to want to accept you anywhere else.
Yeah.
And secondly, some degrees that you may want to do after that, they will want you to first finish whatever you've started. So it's much better if you're not sure and you still want to consider your options. It's much better to take a gap year. And also, a gap year can also be like some time you take just to refresh after high school. It
Yeah.
also helped me to just refresh and to get my mind channeled into that I'm now in varsity. It's much different from high school. And sometimes we finish matric at a very young age. Like I was 16 when I finished matric. So
Wow, you were young, eh?
yeah, so my mind also was not ready for the scene of varsity. And yeah, so I feel like a gap year there's many reasons why a gap year can be recommended for different people. But yeah,
Okay.
parents should let their children take a gap year if they want to.
So the next year after gap year, you went and studied something. What was it?
I studied dietetics
Okay.
for 4 years to become a dietitian at Northwest University. So, and then I took a contract in the Val to be a community dietitian. And at that point, I was getting paid and all. A part of me wanted to make peace with that. Okay, maybe I'm ending up a dietitian and I should just accept that I'm a dietitian. But deep down within me, I knew that, okay, no, I really need to be a medical doctor. And this thing of purpose kept coming back, that what is your purpose in life? Is your purpose to be a dietitian or to be a medical doctor? You should just strive for your purpose. So it kept going back to purpose for me. And although, I was tempted to stay a dietitian, I felt like God didn't let me stay a dietitian, because when everyone applied for jobs, everyone got posts, permanent posts, and I got a contract. So
Yeah.
I just felt like, this is not for me. I really don't belong here. I should go after what I really want in life.
So for from our talks since I've known you, you have also indicated that you had one of the best uh, results when you finished, but somehow the best results were not working for you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So,
yeah,
yeah, in at Northwest University where I studied, I was, yeah, one of the top students, but that did not help at all.
yeah,
Everyone who had marks that were lower than mine, who graduated with marks lower than mine, who performed lower than me, still got permanent jobs, and I didn't. And
and- yeah.
instead of letting that make me angry or dismotivated or that or everything, I took it as that this just shows that I don't belong here. People who got jobs is because they belong there, and I don't.
You don't.
That's how I decided to take it.
So you were not discouraged, thinking that you spent 5 years, 4 years doing your qualification, 1 year working for community. Now you wanted to take an extra, is it 6 years? When you think now
Yes.
you had a consistent salary, now you had a consistent salary, now you had to go back being a student. Wasn't that hard? Or the calling was so strong?
It was very hard, but it all goes back to also your support system, because my husband, he was the one who always motivated me that you will think that you can stay a dietitian, stay on your contract and be a dietitian and all that, but what about your vision, your future? Like in the future,
Yeah.
in the next 6 years, after 6 years from today, won't you regret not going to medical school because you would think that I would be a doctor now and I would be following my passion and following what I really want to be? So he made me think about things like that. And also my family in general, my granny and my mother, they all just told me that it's up to you, but we would recommend that you go after what you really want to do in life, because um happiness first, hey,
Yeah.
Mutakaro panda, happiness
Yeah.
first, because it doesn't, it's really not worth it to live a life where you're depressed every day. You have to force yourself to wake up and go to a job that you don't like, and you don't even know why you're doing it to yourself, and saying you're doing it for the money and that you have a financial security is just not enough,
But what you are
especially when you're not
saying,
following your purpose.
what you're saying, it just proves that most of us, not all, but most of us, the first qualification that we do, it's not really our calling and our passion. But because we are,
Mm,
because of the family backgrounds that we come from, and also because of the being impatient, we want to just be at school so that you start earning money. But we don't look at the
mm,
long-term implication of doing something that you don't really love.
mm. So basically, I realized that like my husband was right. 6 years from now, I will look back and say I should have went to medical school, because basically 6 years is gonna go by very fast. Already 2 years has went past. I'm going
Yes.
to third year next year. Then after third year, I'm like halfway. So it goes by so fast, and I would have had regrets. But the fact that I was motivated enough to can consider to actually apply to medical school, and this time I applied everywhere just to keep my
Yeah.
options open.
Yeah. You
And
learned
then
your
yeah, I
lesson.
was accepted. Yeah, I was accepted at different places, and I had to choose the cheapest because I didn't have funding.
So you, hey, yeah, ne? So you went to medical school, you left the job that you had, a stability that you had, and you went to school with, most of us, we just know that medical school is so expensive, but we don't really have
Mm,
an idea how expensive it is. But you told yourself, I'm gonna do this. The rest
yes.
will fall into place. But don't you,
Yeah.
as medical students, usually get funding?
We do for your first degree. If medical medicine is your first degree, most funding opportunities like NSFAS and all, they will fund you if it's your first degree. It's very difficult to get funding when it's your second degree. I don't know
Oh,
why. It's just their policies. So it's very, very difficult. And usually you just have to try to get donations, or just try to pay it out of your pocket if you have money, or you just go to school, find a way to register every year, and maybe at the end they will do an arrangement with you for you to pay at the end. Or
yeah.
usually they keep your degree. Sometimes they just keep your degree, and then you have to first come up with the money. Most people take loans or something to settle,
Yeah.
and then they get their degrees. Yeah, so for now, I'm just taking it one day at a time. I know I'm accumulating a lot of debt and everything,
Yeah.
but I'm hopeful. And I pray to God every day that each and every postgraduate student who's studying medicine gets a degree. Because I also feel like, not to sound as though the others who are studying medicine are not really in it because it's really what they want to do. But I also feel like us who first went and studied something else and then had the guts to actually come back to study
Yes.
medicine, it's really your purpose, it's really your calling. Who would commit to 6 years after all the responsibilities that you already have in life? So I
Yeah.
just feel like we will get funding when, yeah, when God's
When
timing
the
is right,
time
we will
is right.
get funding.
So do you
Yeah.
think that having the first qualification, which was in medicine, I don't want to say it by name because I feel that I won't pronounce it. I know it's not dietitian. You said it a name there, which
Mm.
I don't know if I'll
Mhm.
be able, but as a qualification, it's a dietitian. Do you think it gives you an advantage or for you to understand a medical condition when you combine that and what you're doing now?
Yeah, it does. It really does help to have a background, especially to have a background in a health profession where I actually worked closely with doctors and everything. Like things like reading a patient file, communicating with a patient, the basics. I already know the basics.
But all over the world now, people are going.
Just, um, I'm
You,
sorry
I
about
think
that.
it
And
froze. Sorry. Huh?
also, oh yeah, sorry. And also, understanding concepts, it's much easier when you already have a background in health. You don't have to spend time trying to define concepts that you don't understand and all that. You already know most things. So it's, yeah, it does make it a bit easier.
Because recently now, all over the world, the issue of health and food, the
Mm,
correlation between the two has become a new phenomenon, even though it has always been, but medically it was not really stressed. But now we see there's this, I don't
mm.
want to say it as revolution because that's how it should be, that the way we eat, it's somehow linked to the medical conditions that we have. So I think also, I don't think your first degree was a waste somehow. I think it gives you an upper hand.
Sorry, I think my network is disconnecting a bit.
Oh, I'm saying with your qualification and now with the emphasis on the balancing the medicine and the food that we eat, I'm saying I think it also gives you an upper hand with how
Yeah.
you approach diseases and your patients.
Yeah, it does. And some of the content that we do that is related to food and nutrition and all, I already know most things, so I really don't have to study all that because I've done it so many times. So it does give and um I'm sorry, my
It's
network
for,
keeps disconnecting and I keep getting calls.
okay, it's fine. Just put it on mute if you can.
Okay.
Yeah. And then tell me, besides being a student, I also know that you're a wife and you just had a baby, a bundle of joy, and you're a student, also a medical student for that matter, and you're still managing to juggle it. How is that been for you?
Uh, it's not always easy because I study in KZN and my family lives in Pretoria and in Venda. So I
Mm.
do have to leave my family behind to go to study. But once I get to school and I just focus on what I'm there for, knowing that in the end I'm gonna make it home. So it's not really that I'm juggling, it's just that I leave them and I miss them, but I have to focus and study. Then I come back and now I focus on family. So it's sort of like I alternate the two.
So you
Yeah.
focus, you focus on the thing that is at hand at that time, and not be
Yes.
stressing that I should have been doing this, I should have been there.
Mm. I try my best to focus on what is at hand at that time. And then,
Yeah.
yeah, I put one on hold and I focus on the other. I put one on hold, I focus on the other. So I just try to give all my attention to whatever that I have to give my attention to at that time.
And then when I'm listening to you and also knowing you personally, I am sure it just proves that it's so important the kind of partner that you choose. Because imagine
Yes.
if you are just starting a family and your husband is like, how can you want to go to school when we are just starting, we just got married? How are we gonna do that? How has it been to have support from your spouse?
My husband is very supportive. He has always been very supportive of me and everything that I want to achieve in life. He's my biggest fan. So I just feel like I'm so blessed that I found someone who is that supportive and who is that willing to let me pursue whatever I want to pursue in life. And he takes the burden of everything to make sure that I am able to focus on everything that I want to focus on. So if ever I'm at school and maybe our child is sick and everything, he will try by all means to make sure that he's there for her fully and make
Mm,
sure that she knows that I would be there if I want to, if I could and
yeah.
everything. So he takes the burden of everything and he just makes everything so much easier for me. And I'm very blessed and very grateful for that.
Yeah, because it just shows that the kind of partner that you choose is very important. Don't ever take it, because you find most of the people had certain dreams, but because of marriage and the relationship we get ourselves into, you may find that those dreams will never be fulfilled because of the partner that you have. Because you will feel
Yes.
that you will be having that pressure that you need to compromise and accept this is the reality.
Mm.
I'm sure you also play a mentorship role with the students that you go to, those who are still young, because you've got experience. You've been to school, you are married, you have a child. I'm sure you also played that
Yeah.
role of being a sister.
Yeah, sometimes it does get to a point where, yeah, sometimes you feel like you're a parent or something to the young ones. But
Yeah.
usually I feel like I still fit in so much that they even sometimes forget that I'm married and I have a child and everything.
eh,
It all just goes back to choosing friends wisely. When you get to
yeah.
varsity, you need to make a big decision, which is choosing the correct crowd. Because if you choose the wrong crowd, you will always have to prove yourself. But if you choose the correct crowd, you just fit in. Yeah, you just automatically fit in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so true. But I thought we'll be having her today. We'll be seeing her.
I had to
You
leave
decided
her
to leave at home.
to go to the store. She doesn't like the car seat. She wants to sit like an adult.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I am sure. I mean, you hear mothers talking about the guilt of pursuing their career, studying, having children, and all that. How do you deal with that motherly guilt that you hear talking about? Or you focus on that the purpose of why I'm doing this?
Well, I did have thoughts like that at first, but then I went back to how I was also raised. I was raised by my grandmother when my mom went
Mm,
to school and then went to work. And I
yeah,
realized that I had the life that I had because my mom decided to do what she did. I had a better childhood than most kids whose mothers decided to stay with them than go to
yeah,
school and study and all that. My mother could be able to afford private education for me because she decided to go to work, to school and to work. So I just feel like although I had to leave her now, and by the time I finish medicine, she's gonna be 4 years old. Who remembers things at 4 years old?
you think she
So
won't?
there's no need for me to feel guilty. Like 4 years old is a baby. And besides, also, she's gonna thank me for the life that she's gonna have because I decided to go to school.
So yeah, I hear you. So I guess
And my granny who's staying with her, she raised me, so she's the best at everything. Like I couldn't have
yeah.
had chosen a better person to stay with my child.
Yeah, but I'm sure when you are home, like you said, when you are at a specific place, you focus on that. Like now,
Mhm.
your holidays. But I also think COVID, it favored you somehow, isn't it?
It did. It really did because I was able to come home, have the baby, stay with her for 3 months instead of leaving her immediately.
Yeah. And now also, I
Yeah.
believe you were writing exams when you are home, isn't it?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Let me not delay you for too long because already we had this interview before. So, but thank you so much
Yeah.
for allowing me to invade your space and you share your journey. I just thought, you know what, let it impact on somebody who's out there who you find that they've put their dreams on the side or they feel they're in a situation where
Mm.
the circumstances of life, because life happens, they feel that they cannot be what they thought they would be, that it's never too late.
Yes, that's true. That's really true. It's never too late. When you know your purpose, you have a goal, you have a vision, it's never too late.
Okay. Thank you so much and have a wonderful
Thank
day.
you for interviewing me. Thank
Thank
you.
you, dear. Bye.